What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be taking a look at the RUIKE. I keep on wanting to call it RUIKE P801-SF. Super cool little knife. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. This knife was brought to you by Mr. 2A_92. It is because of people like him I am able to have some knives in the arsenal to do reviews on that I don't have or otherwise have not bought. So definitely go check him out, 2A_92. He has been gracious enough to give us 3 knives to check out on the channel. This is the last one. I called this a RUIKE knife whenever on the unboxing, but it is pronounced RUIKE. This is the first RUIKE knife that I have handled, and I, have heard a lot about them, but have never purchased one. This one makes for a really good EDC budget knife, and we're going to compare it to some other ones and why I think some people might prefer this over others. What are we working with here? This is a stainless steel frame lock. Stainless steel, so the scales, the actual frame lock portion, all steel, so it does not need a steel lock bar insert or anything like that. It is, I could not find, I looked in here, I don't see phosphor bronze, I don't see bearings, so I think it is some kind of maybe a nylon bushing in here, but I didn't take it apart, obviously, and I couldn't really find what it's in, but it is really smooth. I mean, I can't fault it for anything, not even though it's not running on bearings from what I can tell. It is very, very smooth. When I folding this up, I don't see any or feel any resistance, anything like that. This blade steel, usually on this channel, we've had a lot of, oh man, I'm just knocking things around here. On this channel, we've got a lot of budget knives, some in different steels than others, but mostly D2. This one is in 14C 28N steel, which is perfectly fine for the price point. I believe this is going to hold an edge a little bit less than D2. I think D2 would hold it a little bit longer. They're both around the same corrosion resistance as far as I can tell, toughness and all that jazz, but I'd like to see something different. I like to see other knives or other blades that are made in things other than D2. So has that going for it. I really enjoy the looks of it. The design with that blade shape. They got a little pop of color on the thumb studs, pivot collar, and pocket clip. And so, it's just a clean but yet sleek design that I think looks really, really good. Now, the fact that this one is, did I see what the model number was? Let's just go ahead and do this. The P801-SF, there's your 14C28N, and there's this really long, I guess, model number that just drives me crazy. And then there it is. It's pronounced RUIKE, R-U-I-K-E. How they get that, I don't know, but that's how it's pronounced. So, but yeah, another Chinese-made knife, but a good one. Comes with a anodized pocket clip that is deep carry and has good ramp, good retention. The only thing, I really wish that they would all do is when they do this is not have these huge button screws, button head screws, that just prevents, look how much room you've got between there and your pocket. That's just a no-no. I've seen other ones that don't have recessed screws, but these screws are actually pretty damn huge. And so it definitely does not want to get past those screws to get in all the way down in your pocket unless you're wearing thinner pants. So that is a thing. But all in all, very nice knife. Ergonomics. Ergonomics are great. Even with my big old hands here, I get a full 4-finger grip. The pocket clip does not cause a hot spot. The jimping is nice, not too rough. This, kind of that closer jimping that I do like. There is no place to choke up, so with a choke back position here, the jimping is in the right place for me. Sometimes when I do a saber grip, my thumb goes way up here so I can get behind the knife. It's not sharp on the spine, so that doesn't bother me. So it's a pretty comfortable knife. I can kind of feel this area, but it's just because I have fat fingers. Really, like I said, there's no jimping or anything, so it's not bad. They rounded it off pretty good. The flipper tab works amazing. It's not sticking out too far, but the detent on this thing is excellent. It's a stronger detent, so I can flick this thing out really with ease, and it's super fun. to flick. You do have thumb studs. They're not the easiest because of that stronger detent and the way these are positioned. It is definitely not the easiest thing to flick out, but when it does, it flicks out with authority. And one great thing about it is that that thumb stud is way out of the way of the cutting path. So the thumb stud is not going to get in your way. That is a wonderful design. It gives you the option for a thumb stud or a flipper. I kind of wish that it would double as a blade stop or if they would have not cut this out and actually went and made these blade stops, that would make for an even stronger lockup, and I don't think it would have taken away from the knife. Not at all. So anyways, that's just one little nitpicky thing. So yeah, I really love the color. I really love the blade shape. This thing is about 8.25 inches overall length with a 3.5-inch blade, and it is about 115 thousandths on the stock thickness, and it comes down to around 19 thousandths behind the edge. So it performed really well. This knife has been sharpened, so I don't know maybe what it'd have been out of the box, but I'm assuming it would have been thinner. But it's a full flat grind, and so you got a little flat and a little belly on this drop point blade. No swedge on the top. The point of this is not flimsy at all, so you don't have to worry about breaking that off. So yeah, really, really nice. I love this whole full steel sound that it makes. It just is a different sound whenever you have steel construction over something like G10. It just, that mechanical sound I really, really like. So I could do that all day. I just think it sounds so amazing. The flipper tab, or not the flipper tab, but the lock bar insert does have a little bit of jimping on the inside, and it is a dream to get in there and disengage. It's not too much pressure. Sometimes these things are a little bit too hard to disengage, and it can kind of tear up your thumb. This one, not at all. Such a pleasure. It is locking up. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably around 50%, maybe a little bit less. Lockup is solid. No blade play up, down, left, or right. So, and you know what? And I get what this knife is made for, because yes, you can get in this price range. This knife right here is $30, and you can get D2 and G10 all day long for that price. But I understand why there's a lot of people that do this. It's the same thing with like a 1911 versus Glock. There are some guys out there who just don't trust plastic, especially with their tools, and so they want a full steel pocket knife. This one is an excellent choice, because at this price point at $30, you're getting something that has got, it's a budget steel, but it's good to go. The weight on this thing is about 4.23 ounces, and so I can't really beat that with full steel. I mean, come on, if this thing was titanium, yeah, it'd be better. But it's a substantial, really sturdy feeling knife. Let's go ahead and put it up against some of the other ones. One being another one that he sent over for review, the steel wheel cut jack. This was a 3.5-inch as well. So as you can see, very similar overall size of these knives, but you have FRN and D2 here versus stainless steel and 14C28N. I think very comparable. Just kind of to show you the difference. These knives are seriously $30. Both of these knives flip out amazingly. And this is kind of what I talked about in this review. This is a Walmart Smith & Wesson knife. This actually is not a bad knife. It is a very heavy knife. It is a very cheap knife. I believe that this thing costs around the same as these, but I would pick these two over this any day. Why? Okay, so the action on this, on the thumb stud, not as bad, but not great. The flipper, junk. Absolute junk. I'm never going to get rid of this knife, and I have put a really wicked edge on this thing because this 18 or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. It takes a pretty sleek edge. It just does not keep it for very long. And it is a tip down carry, and yeah. This is what you can get for the same price, or around the same price at Walmart, whenever you can get these so much better made knives, lighter, better action, and just better in every way, in my opinion, than this. This one is just, oh, dadgum, this thing. This one is obviously a little bit bigger than those, but just wanted to kind of show you something you can get for Walmart versus something you can get online from these other overseas manufacturers. Here it is against one of my favorite budget knives of all time, the CJRB Felspar. Very, very similar in size. These are real flat. You've got G10 over here that's contoured, so this is going to be a little bit more comfortable in hand than this. Just something that you guys probably already know. Here it is against the Para 3, so definitely a longer blade than the Para 3. Now, it being all steel, this is definitely slick. It's not, it doesn't have any grip whatsoever. It doesn't really bother me because I don't feel myself getting, not having a good grip on the knife. The ergonomics are such, the jimping in the right place, that this acts as the finger guard, the flipper tool, so if I have to stab something, it prevents me from going that way. And then just the ergonomics of it kind of getting a little bit right here and a finger tool there, where if I'm pulling back on something, it's just not going to slip out of my hand. It's going to be slicker than some other knives. But another thing that I really think is cool about this is that, yeah, it's plain Jane. A lot of people like plain Jane. If you don't like plain Jane, there are so many companies that charge you like nothing to do some like custom laser engraving or just laser etching on these blades. And for 30 bucks, that would be sweet to take a $30 knife, customize it the way that you want. Yeah, I kind of like that plain Jane look, especially when you have metal scales that you can do that kind of stuff with. I think it would be a pretty cool idea. As far as cutting with this guy, it was a dream. It really did perform the way that I wanted to perform on most EDC tasks. Now, obviously, I did not go overboard, so the edge retention on this guy, I'm not sure about, but I believe it's going to be a bit less than D2. So, it takes a wicked edge. So you can sharpen this thing to just be razor sharp. It sharpens up pretty nice, and I don't think it's a problem for most people just to strop it up and keep going. If you do damage it, it's just not going to take much with some diamond stones to get this back in service relatively quickly. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I like the knife, especially for the price. Now, they do have a really cool, like a black wash, acid wash version of this that, for $5 extra, I would have probably picked that one. Yeah, it looks really sick. Matter of fact, it kind of reminds me of this finish, which I do like. I like this kind of acid stone wash finish. This knife's been kind of beat up. But, yep, all in all, really nice stuff. There's some definite changes that I would make for the price. I think it is pretty good to go if you're looking for an all steel frame knife. If you're just one of those guys who just wants robustness, sturdiness, you're going to add a little bit of weight, but you don't have any of the FRN or G10, which is perfectly fine for handle scales, but there are some guys out there that just want this, and I think if you're looking at this or looking at a steel frame knife, definitely one to look for. I really have enjoyed carrying it. It surprised the heck out of me with its detent and the flipping action. Very nice. It sounds amazing, and I can recommend this knife for sure. Now, this is not the only steel frame lock out there, but it is really one of the only ones that I have had on the channel since I've been doing it, and I've been kind of steering clear just because steel frame locks are not my thing. But I really can't say that now because I do like heft. This has got the heft and the sturdiness, so I think it's a good option. If you have any questions on it, holler at me. I might be able to help you out. Or definitely go follow 2apunky_92 because he owns this knife, and this will be going back to him or another YouTuber in the next few days. Guys, I love you all. Stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.